Hello there guys and welcome to The Break. And my name is Patricia Bright. We're over here giving you the tools and resources to learn, grow, navigate life like a boss and make money moves in the process. I hope you are doing well and happy new year and happy new year. Last year was really interesting for a lot of us. I think we all face a worldwide pandemic. Some of us saved money, some of us lost money, some of us invested, some of us did not, but a lot of us definitely, I'm sure, have learnings from 2020. Now, around this time last year, I actually decided to air my dirty laundry and give you guys an insight into my £65,000 a year budget. I wanted to share with you guys in detail how I planned to save and spend and allocate my money throughout the year. And today's the day where we're gonna review what actually happened. And then I'm gonna give you an idea of my financial goals for the year ahead, because I think it's really important to have goals when it comes to your finances, as well as your personal life, as well as your abs. All of it needs to have some kind of goal or some kind of focus. Now, I will say that I'm still using my budget template into 2021. It's still pretty relevant. So if anyone who is looking for a budget template, you are free to join the thousands of people who have used my budget template, which is pretty mind-blowing. I'll have a link in the description bar below. Okay. Here it is. It's like looking into the past where dreams and coronavirus were not even connected or expected. This was my 2020 budget. This is what I assumed my income would be, my expenses would be, and what I would put into savings and investment, because you know what? Your girl's meant to be smart and she's meant to be diligent, and I was meant to have a surplus of £2,222 to enjoy, to do whatever I wanted. Now, let me give you a little bit of a recap when it comes to budgeting. Budgeting is basically how you allocate your money for your life. Like, it's a dream, it's what you want to do. It lets you know what your income is, what your expenses are, how much you're going to spend on travel, how much you're going to spend on food and bills and all the things you need to just keep your life running. And then it lets you know how much money you have left over at the end of a period to allocate to different places. It could be fun, it could be a pension, it's up to you. And so I really went through this in detail. Here will be the original video if you want to go into the details of that. However, this is what it looked like. Now, on the front page of my budget, you can actually see the fact that I have projected budget, which are the numbers that, are the dream pre-coronavirus, versus my actual budget. And what I've done is I've gone through every single month. I've looked at my spending, I've looked at my investing. Well, that was not as significant as I wanted it to be, but I've looked through my numbers and I've tallied it up. And I'll keep it real with you. I didn't do it every month, okay? I was not always consistent. I know I created the budget tracker. I know I did. There were some months I really was just like, let me just leave this for now. However, retrospectively, I've taken a good look at these numbers and I've kind of rounded them up. So I'll go ahead and share with you what they look like. And you may be surprised that my projected budget and spending and saving and all that good stuff is pretty different from what actually happened. I'm sure that there are many that can relate to that, but this is actually in a good way. So let's have a look at the first section, which is income. As you guys know, I get paid £65,000 a year in the form of dividends and a salary, and I pay my taxes out of that. I have a company that pays me my salary and I live on that. That may be low to some, that might be really high to some. I have a mortgage, I have 2 children, and I also have a partner who also has an income. So as a household, we're able to live on 2 different salaries. But just to caveat, that number stayed the same. I feel pretty lucky that that was the case for me, because I know many people were furloughed and I know some people didn't have those options. But I also heard of people who got new jobs and started new businesses and had multiple streams of income during this period of time. So to you guys, you've done amazing. Please share if that was the case so others can feel inspired by yourselves. And then it came to my expenses. So I have these broken down into my living costs, my travel costs, my personal cost, and my childcare cost. Everybody may have different categories when it comes to their cost. This was mine. So my living cost, now the number has actually gone up in comparison to the projection. My projected amount was 1,781. My actual amount was 2,892. Now, my actual expenses did not go up. I actually ended up changing the way, or we as a family ended up changing the way we manage our living expenses, in that I now pay the mortgage and food, and my husband pays for all the other costs. So we ended up kind of just switching those costs out. But I'll keep it real with you, most of those costs remained pretty similar. But one thing I will tell you is that we were planning on having a nanny. We were going to do all these extracurricular activities, and we had like the school fees and stuff like that. A lot of those costs ended up dropping because of the pandemic. So a lot of that money that I was going to spend on activities and an additional nanny, we didn't end up doing, which gave us a bit of a saving. But I know that number went up. It remained pretty similar. So don't let that skew you. I know that number looks a bit higher, but I'd say it remained pretty level. Now, what did change from some of my expenses was my travel costs. So my car insurance remained the same, but I believe that I ended up spending less on petrol quite consistently. And there were some times where I actually didn't end up using the car at all, because guess what? We're locked up, they won't let me out. They won't let me out. Like literally, we were locked up. So guess what? I didn't pay as much on petrol. It was great. And we do have 2 cars, and we basically used the banger anytime we went to the shop, or actually walked for a significant period of time. And then also my petrol costs were a little bit lower later on in the year, because I was driving a hybrid for a period, and it was actually really good to see my petrol costs go down. Did I get the car MOT'd? I don't think I got the car MOT'd in the year, and I don't know if I paid my car tax. Maybe my husband did that. I don't know. However, when it came to public transport, which I used to use quite regularly, and I say that I projected that I would have spent around 960 on public transport, and then at least another £50 a month on Ubers, I would have spent at least 1,500 on public transport. However, I actually only ended up spending around £95. It's absolutely crazy, because I was at home, I didn't travel very much, I didn't really get that much public transport, that those travel costs dropped significantly. However, I made it up in February, because if you don't know, I went away. And so you will see that I have a cost of socialization that's around £3,000, okay? I went on holiday, I went to Morocco, this was pre-pandemic, and so it netted out a bit even. I know I wasn't getting my Ubers and my public transport, but I flew to Morocco and enjoyed before things went south. And I actually ended up spending 0 money at the gym, although I had projected to spend more money at the gym. Here's the thing, right? I had a baby, I wasn't going to the gym. I planned to start going about 3 months or 4 months afterwards, went away, came back, pandemic, gym membership over. So the amount I would have spent on the gym, which would have been around £480, completely gone, dusted to the wind. So this has been great. Not the fact that I'm not at the gym, but because I'm saving money. That was it really. Didn't need to get fit in lockdown. I'll take those extra pounds in my pocket. Thank you very much. What's really interesting is looking at my personal costs, is that they were my biggest expenses. Let's keep it real. I had planned to spend £13,000 on personal costs. In hindsight, who do I think I am? Sit down. £200 a month on socializing. Who am I? What the hell? That went down significantly. So yes, I went on my trip. You know, I've kind of omitted some of the lunches that I had. Like I had one beautiful, like big lunch. I went out with the girls. Like that was after another lockdown, before another lockdown happened. I don't know. And that was maybe like 200 quid or £300. But besides that, I didn't end up doing a lot of the socialization I thought I had. Those dreams were shattered. And then clothing, you know, obviously I talk about the fact that I work in fashion, I love makeup, I love clothing. It's my collecting stamps, okay? And I had a budget for about 2,400 to spend on clothing. Did I wear clothes? I lounged, I was lounging, and I would say personally, I didn't spend very much on clothing. I know I've put 0 there. I know some of you guys will know I bought a bag. I did buy a bit of a bag, okay? But that was a business cost. I'm gonna call that a business cost. It was a business cost, but I really didn't end up spending very much in the clothing arena at all. Probably between 400 and 600 in the entire year, which for me is a huge drop. I wasn't shopping as much. And I think one of the biggest lessons I've learned is that you know what the essentials are and you know what the essentials are not. Actually, what I wanted to show you is I ended up spending double on food, double in certain months. So I had predicted like 150 a month, but actually I was spending like 300, 300, 200, and then I caught wind of myself and I did a month where I was being careful, and it went back up to 150 to 200, and apologies, but I feel like I've missed the last payment, but yeah, let's just put that was a 200. That was 200 there, girl. You spent that money there. So although some of the other costs went down, my food costs went up. And I think there's a lot of people who can relate to it, because right now, most of our fun was just eating. So when it came into my tithing and my giving, I actually ended up doing a lump sum payment, and I've done some stuff out of my business as well. So I have done that, but not out of my personal expenses here. So I actually ended up doing my giving via my business. There's some tax benefits there. There are ways that charities can also claim back there. So I didn't actually do that out of my personal cost this time. And my subscriptions remained the same. I'm surprised that didn't go up, but they were, I don't remember subscribing to anything particularly new. Now, as I mentioned, the nanny costs, the extracurricular costs and such, they actually ended up reducing, and my husband ended up being the main payer for those things. Now, when it came to my car, the payment remained pretty the same. I have no credit card, I have no student loan. So my total expenses were around £900 less per month, besides the month where I went away on holiday. So my net monthly income increased again by about £900. So with that being said, that allowed me to have about £19,000 to make in the year after all my expenses and things that I had to pay for, as well as allocating for fun stuff. There was no fun last year. Let's just keep it very, very real. So I was supposed to put £19,000 towards savings and investing and all that kind of good stuff. So I ended up putting some money into my ISA, I put money into my pension, and I didn't do a sinking fund, and I ended up spending the holiday fund as I planned. And one of my biggest regrets, which I will talk about further on, is that I didn't actually buy any stocks or any shares over that period of time. I felt like I knew it was very volatile, and if you guys know me, I'm pretty risk averse, and that is actually a regret that I made. Like, I wish I had maybe done that. I've seen a lot of the guys out here like talk about all the money they put into the stock market, how rich they got, and tripled their share prices, and I was like, oh, I was too scared. I'm like, nah, it's not for me. It's not for me. However, now that I am more informed about investing, I will definitely be making more decisions this year to put more money into it. So yes, I did my pension. Yes, I did my ISA. Yes, I put another 5,000 or 6,000 into some index funds, but not as much as I potentially could have. So I probably ended up putting about 13,000 into saving when I could have put probably more of that into saving and investing, but I didn't do it. However, what you can see is that my net inflow is actually 6,950 versus 2,220. So I am quizzing more than £4,000 than expected, which is pretty amazing. And budgets are only a framework that someone can work towards. It gives you really good perspective on how you may dream of spending your money, dream of investing your money, dream on staying within like certain parameters. But things change, right? Things can change for the positive, or they can definitely change for the negative as well. But what I can see, and actually I do see this in my bank account pretty much reflected, is that I have at least a 6,000 extra on top of what I already have than I had actually budgeted for. And this year I plan to really be much more strict, do a monthly check to make sure I'm within my budget, record as much as I possibly can when it comes to my spending, and see if I can even stretch myself a lot further. I'm gonna go ahead and give you more info about my financial goals. So financial goals can seem pretty daunting, but I basically have 5 super simple goals that I really want to work towards that won't be stressful, that aren't like super complicated, but these are financial goals that I want to keep in the back of my head when I'm thinking about making any financial decisions. So the first one is to spend more. Now, I know this sounds pretty counterintuitive if you are on a financial journey or if you are trying to save more or budget more, but life is for the living. Let's keep it real. And I think it's really important to have the balance of I'm saving, I'm investing, I'm growing, I'm hustling, I'm getting there, doing all of that, but also feeling like you can enjoy and use your money. It doesn't mean it has to be expensive. It doesn't mean you need to go on amazing trips all the time. It might be treating yourself to a class that brightens your day or teaches you something new. It could be a new handbag. It could be that I spend on someone else, or it could be that I buy something I'm thinking about buying. I don't want to feel this idea or this thought of lack when it comes to finances. And so spending and being more free to spend is a goal for me, but I want to make sure I do it wisely. I know when people are on a financial journey, they can feel restricted. And when you feel restricted, I think we all want to rebel. It makes us want to go crazy and be like, I'm buying everything. Like once the shop's open, like we're gonna go wild. Like no, because there's a level of balance. If you spend a little and you save a little more than you're spending, you're gonna feel a bit more level when it comes to a financial journey. And that's really where I wanna be in. I'm lucky to make a decent salary, and I still wanna be able to be frugal but also spend. I've accepted I'm an oxymoron, okay? I like the good life, but I like to be smart as well. And so I need the income to match that. Let's just keep it real. My next goal is to diversify my investments. Now, this is, I think, a goal that I think works for many, many people. You have to diversify where you put your money. So it can't just be in the bank, Inflation, depreciation. Banks nowadays, are they even, the place to put your money? I don't know. Don't kill me. I don't want them to find me. Snipers in the wind, I don't know. I want to diversify the way that I invest. So if you guys don't know, I have invested in property. I have a property portfolio. I've also invested in my pension. I have a few index funds, but that's about it. I'm not a risky investor. I don't really like, the idea of picking stocks as much, but I am wanting to diversify further. So I will be investing in some Bitcoin. I will be picking some stocks. I will be investing in more funds via my pensions, via my ISAs, but also with the cash that I have within my businesses, as well as personally as well. I've also been making a couple of investments into different companies, and I'm really excited about where those opportunities may go. But I really want to make sure I mix it up. And I do think it's really important for all of us to think about having our money in different places that allow you to reap the rewards of compound interest and just general capital growth in different ways. Let's find out what the options are to diversify our risk and also diversify our investments. And that's a goal for me. I want to read more, and this is a financial goal because listen, knowledge is power. I think it's really important to understand more. And I always say I'm not a financial expert. I've got a background in accounting. I worked in the financial industry. That never prepared me for actual real life making money, earning money, saving money, investing money. You can know everything by the book, but it's important to understand how to practically apply. So I really want to learn more about the application when it comes to investing, when it comes to building businesses further, when it comes to making more money. And so that means I need to put the hours with my eyeballs into the material that will help me and that I can learn from. And I think this is a goal for many, many people. And maybe if it isn't a goal for you, that's fine. But mine is to, make more moolah. And I want to make more money while doing less work. I want to be working smarter to make more financial income without basically killing myself in the process. Now, I understand that everything that you do when it comes to growing wealth or growing a business or growing anything will take work in the beginning, but I really want to develop a more automated way of making income and multiple revenue streams, and they need to be passive AF revenue streams. That for me is one of my key financial strategies for the year. If you want more info on that, we can get into it. We can talk about how we can make passive streams of income. We want to make money in our sleep, don't we? Yeah, I'll get into that very soon. Okay, guys, I think I've shared enough about my income and my budget. I want to know what you guys think. How did your savings, your investing, your budgeting go last year? You can be honest. It could have been an amazing year for you. It could have been a difficult year for you. And I know, as I mentioned, like, you know, it wasn't easy for absolutely everybody, but we can learn a lot from the year that's just gone and make sure that we can, you know, one, protect ourselves as much as we possibly can this year, and then hopefully be a little bit smarter and be prepared for what is ahead. Because I have a feeling it's going to be a little bit bumpy, but over here, you know what? We're gonna keep that energy up. We're gonna keep your pockets up. That is the end of this video. I hope you enjoyed it. But in the meantime, I'll catch you over on the break on Instagram, and I will see you over here. So guys, thank you for watching, and I'll catch you later. Bye.